Are you ready to do this cool night?
Punch it, Chewie!
Okay, and we are here with another episode of
Raising a Gamer! Yeah!
Raising a Gamer. And what are we talking about today, cool night?
Super Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo. I'm really excited about this because I think this is our first Super Nintendo game we've talked about on this YouTube series, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this game came out in 1993. So cool night. I was 12 years old, just a little bit older than you. My brother, who he has a podcast about pop culture and all things, movies and video games, TV shows. Your uncle, his podcast called The Fortress of Nerditude always starts off the way that we started off this episode. His co-host, or Spencer, my brother, always says, "Are you ready to do this, Steve?" And Steve, his co-host, always says, "Punch it, Chewie!" So, my brother, who is the world's biggest Star Wars fan, I had to give him props and give him that entrance to our show today. Super Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, this is the second of the trilogy of the Super Star Wars video games. And this one, like the others, is, what would you say for difficulty?
Hard.
Hard. Okay. There's 3 difficulty settings on this game. There's Easy, Brave, and Jedi. Do you remember what we played on?
First we played on Brave.
And how did that go? Hard. Yeah. Brave should be called Insane. I don't even know what Jedi should be called. But Easy. Was Easy?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
A little bit.
No. This game is brutally hard. Brutally hard. But it was definitely enjoyable. So cool night. I want to get your thoughts on it. Okay, what are some of the things that you really enjoyed? Am I going to have to call you Mr. Giggles again?
No.
Okay, so tell me, what are some of the things that you really enjoyed about Super Empire Strikes Back?
Graphics were, I don't know what to say, but really good for like an old game. And then,
let's backtrack about the graphics. You were saying something to me before we started recording, how you could understand what? Do you remember what you said? You said something like, I could understand why you would like this as a kid.
Yes.
So,
because of the graphics.
So it still looked enjoyable to you?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. They did a good job. What else? What are some of the other things you enjoyed?
Boss fights.
Okay, do you have any one in particular that you thought was kind of fun? Because I can think of one I really liked.
The same one that you like.
Okay. The one I liked, and I think it's the same one you liked, was the ice monster on Hoth. Now, one of the things I want to say about this before I get back to the boss fights is that this game follows the movie, but it also takes a lot of liberties. And the boss fights are a perfect example of this. You fight this ice monster, I guess you'd call it, where it has these arms that come on each side and they come in and try and hit you, so you have to dodge the arms, and then it breathes out this, this mist that will freeze you if it touches you. So you have to dodge all those things. You're jumping around with Luke Skywalker, spinning with the lightsaber, right? So that was a lot of fun, but really nothing that's in the movie at all as far as the boss fight goes. But I actually thought, cool night, I thought the boss fight was easier than the actual level itself. I mean, how long do you think it probably took us to get through one level in this game?
Like 25 minutes.
I would say at least, if not more. I mean, we died a lot. And one of the things I learned after the fact, after we had been playing this quite a bit, and maybe I should have known this and I just didn't, is that there's cheat codes in this game. And if I would have known that, I generally don't like to use cheat codes, but as hard as this game was, I would have used them. What about you?
I would use them.
Yeah.
A whole ton.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. So definitely a hard game. Doesn't always follow canon. One of the things I also wanted to talk about with that is in each of the levels, there's all these additional things that are pretty much everything's trying to hurt you. Okay, so you're going through Hoth, for example. Do you remember the icicles that would pop out of the ground? Okay, those would randomly come at you. Bats would come at you. There'd be avalanches where snowballs would be coming at you. The probe droids were everywhere. Then you go inside the cave and the wampas. Do you remember the wampas? They kind of look like ice cats almost.
Yeah.
In the movie, in Empire Strikes Back, Luke fights one of them. Okay, how many do you think we fought in those ice caves?
Like 50.
Yeah, there were tons of them, and they were difficult. They were very, very difficult. So this game is a mix of both a platforming game, and then it's also got some levels where you're in a spaceship flying through, and it's kind of a shoot 'em up as well. Did you have in any levels where we were in a snow speeder and a spaceship that you particularly liked?
No.
No. Well, I thought there was one.
Well, the snow speeder.
The snow speeder, because you're doing what? Remember what you're going after?
AT-ATs and...
Yeah, AT-AT, and I'm so glad you call it AT-AT and not AT-AT. I know AT-AT is the correct pronunciation, but I call them AT-ATs. Sorry, deal with it. So yeah, you're taking down the AT-ATs. Now, you did make a comment, though, that it was not as good as a more current game that you play, which is what? Do you remember? Where you take down AT-ATs?
Oh, wait. Walker Soul on Battlefront?
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. But just the idea that you could be playing a game from 1993 and still be taking down AT-ATs was a lot of fun. Definitely isn't as intuitive as the newer games are with the controls. But speaking of that, I'll bring out my nice yellow Super Nintendo controller. I don't know if the camera can pick up really how yellow this thing is.
Yellow.
Well, it's. I mean, you look at the plastic there; it's definitely got some yellowing going on. But great system. I absolutely love the Super Nintendo. The way they did the art style in these older games was a lot of fun. Like Cool Knight said, it still holds up. So definitely no complaints there. What about the music, Cool Knight?
Not just the same ones in the movie.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that was one of the things that really excites me is if you love John Williams' score of any of the Star Wars movies, you're going to love the music in this game because it's the same Star Wars music. Obviously, it's not the same quality. It's I think it's called a MIDI, M-I-D-I, I think. I don't remember how to pronounce it. But anyways, it's kind of got that old arcadey, tinny sound to it. But it's a lot of fun. Okay, Cool Knight. Super Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. What grade would you give this game?
B-.
Okay. Is this one that you'd want to continue playing?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, for me, I'm going to give it a B. And the only reason why I'm not giving it a higher grade, because it is a ton of fun, but the only reason I'm not giving it a higher grade is the difficulty level, even on the easiest setting, is really, really hard. That said, I still want to play this. I'll probably still sneak in some time playing this. And even the other day when you got in trouble and you were grounded from video games, I was sneaking in some time at night playing Super Empire Strikes Back. So it's one that I want to play all the way through. We haven't beat it yet. We've definitely put a number of hours into it, but we haven't beat it. From a parent's perspective, this is Star Wars. If parents aren't familiar with the Star Wars story, frankly, I'm a little shocked, but you do run around with lightsabers, right? What else do you run around with?
Guns.
So there is that. There is, I guess, animated, cartoony violence. Are you dying over here?
Yes.
Okay, so Cool Knight. If someone wanted to get Super Empire Strikes Back, how would they get this?
Around $15 on eBay, garage sales.
What about, could you go in a store and get this?
No.
Probably not unless you go in a used video game store. But yeah, expect to pay around $15 for this game. You can definitely find copies of it around, but yeah, that's going to be your option if it's one you want to play. You can get, like I said, this is a trilogy, so you could get regular Super Star Wars or Super Return of the Jedi as well, all around the same price. So that's it for this edition of
Raising a Gamer!
Raising a Gamer. May the Force be with you.
Unless you're a dark side.
Unless you're a dark side. But otherwise.
Or a droid.
Or a droid. Otherwise.
Spy.
Or a spy. Any others?
Agent.
Or an agent. Otherwise, may the Force be with you. Always.
Unless you're Obi-Wan Kenobi.